The brand new rules that have been introduced this year have already changed the cars a lot, which is going to create more thrilling races as drivers battle for the ranks. After the changes, this year was the first year that had the capability to shake up the competitive order, as the teams came up with great changes in their cars. A group of new aerodynamic regulations was thought of to build up more action by making these things easier for the drivers to combat wheel-to-wheel and the continuous attempts to overtake. The change in the rules was amongst the biggest changes ever done in the history of Formula 1. The only thing that was kept constant from 2021 was the steering wheel. What were the other changes made? Which parts were discarded? And which ones were newly introduced? Are these drivers satisfied with the changes made in the technical rules? Don't skip this video and watch till the end to know everything about the world of F1. Today we're going to tell you guys all about the changes made in the F1, starting from the parts of the cars to the tracks. So what are we waiting for? Let's take a closer look at everything. We observed no changes at the top of Formula. The reason behind this is that none other than Max Verstappen of Red Bull had yet again claimed his second championship in a row. But the majority of the players agreed to the fact that the changes were made for the good, which eventually made the race more exciting and thrilling. Definitely the racing improved, Verstappen said. Some tracks are a little bit better than others, but on some tracks, it's just very difficult to pass anyway. It doesn't matter what car you use. Overall, the rules have been pretty good. With very less technical freedoms as compared to the ones in the previous years, this meant only one thing, and it was done to build up more similar car designs throughout the field, which was intended for a long time to give birth to a closer competition. The lead of trackside engineering at Alfa Romeo, ZB Pulsar, says that the new technical designs have helped to compress the field in a little quantity and to have more competition. He goes on to say that now the drivers have realized that it is possible to race closer together. It's also given an ample amount of opportunities during the race. Therefore, keeping this point in mind, things are going as they had planned. To be honest, Formula 1 wanted the new set of rules to lessen what is called dirty air, which is nothing but what an aerodynamically wake a car produces. Well, it has its use when another car comes too close. At the time of the incident, the altercation in airflow can cause the car to let go of the force, making it very difficult to approach the car in front. Now, the wake is reduced by the new set of rules, which will make it easier for the cars to follow each other. Adapting to this, Formula 1 thought that they could witness more overtaking. Esteban Ocon of Alpine thought that the standard of racing had been elevated by the introduction of new cars. He said that he had witnessed numerous races that were mega with close fights, mentioning Brazil and Saudi Arabia to be his all-time favorite. He also mentioned back-and-forth racing, which reminded him of go-kart racing. Pirelli, the time supplier of Formula 1, feels that overtaking has increased by at least 30% from the year 2021 to 2022. This year, the overtaking is taking place 785 times, which is way higher than 599 times the last year. Mario Isola is another important figure of Formula 1. Said that the package was working really well in accordance with the new set of rules. 2022 also saw the updated version of tires, which were specially designed and built to let the drivers attack even more without getting their rubbers overheated, something which can prove to be harmful to their race. Talking about this year, Isola said, "Drivers were fighting. 2 or 3 cars together overtaking each other, trying to use any possibility or any mistake from the competitor to overtake and pushing for not just one corner, but 3, 4, 5 laps." But unfortunately, this new set of rules was not a piece of good news for every player present there. Some of them were quite unhappy with the decision. They could not be convinced of the fact that the new set of rules was a total success. One of the retired players of Formula 1, who retired by the end of the season, Sebastian Vettel, felt that there was not much difference because of the presence of a reduced slipstream effect. Now, for those who are wondering about what this effect is, this is nothing but the time when the driver is just behind another car and gains alongside a straight line to set up the ability to overtake. He elaborated on the topic by saying that the project was definitely not failed, but there was too much hard work involved in the process, and all the efforts did not pay off in the end. At one point in time, people thought the thing that really needed improvement was the slipstream. This would make the feature even better and also help the cars to overtake a lot more. They also thought that the new cars were not that much fun as compared to the old cars. cars. The reason behind this is the increased weight of the new cars. The head of the single-seater for the governing body of Formula One, Nicholas Tombazis, belonging to the FIA, was one of the main architects of the new set of rules, completely disagreeing with what Vettel said. It did improve the ability of cars to follow each other, Tombazis said. Clearly, a good race needs also to have teams close to each other fighting, but he did acknowledge that in the second half of the season, it was not so close. There was a clear-cut winner. He was talking about none other than the legendary Max Verstappen, who made a record by winning not one, but 15 races in just one season. Can you imagine? Well, this says that Verstappen is really talented. The team to which he belonged, that is, Red Bull, grabbed the first position in 17 races, which included 10 out of 11 final races. The only other team to win races were just Ferrari and Mercedes. Out of the 22 races, only one time one of the other teams managed to finish under the top 3. Here we are talking about a McLaren, back then, whose driver was Lando Norris, who finished third in the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. I was hoping that we could see a bit more variety in the finishing order, with maybe more midfield teams getting the chance to fight for podiums, said Pierre Gasly of AlphaTauri, who went a full season without finishing on the podium for only the second time in his Formula One career. Hopefully this is something that can improve over the next couple of years and get the field closer together, having more teams fighting for podiums. We hope everyone is familiar with Formula One's new cost cap, which was first introduced last year in 2021. This feature limits the teams to spending $140 million every year in a way to make spending in an order more sustainable, along with curbing the advantages of the bigger and the richer teams. Tombazis went on to say that the dominance of the 3 teams, namely the Mercedes, the Ferrari, and the Red Bull, was not specifically expected, as it required a bit of time to cancel out the competitive order. Well, there is still an advantage for the people. Well, the teams that adapted themselves better to the rules turned out to be the better teams. One of the important members of Ferrari, Carlos Sainz, is too much confident regarding the new set of rules and believes that this measure would surely bring a lot more teams into the fight at the front. He goes on to say that as soon as everything settles down, he thinks that all things are going to converge. And with the passing of time, things are going to get more interesting. He feels that things are going in the right direction, once and for all. Steiner says that the entertainment sector is going to do a lot better now, as Formula One is pretty famous among people because of its battles everywhere. So with this, we have come to the very end of this video. The new features are thought to be a boon for some, and others, they get to be bane. Are the new features really that helpful? Or the old cars were far better than the new ones? Keeping aside the changes made recently, what are the other areas that we can work on? Do let us know your valuable opinions in the comments below. If you like this video, you can share this with fellow F1 fans. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more such related videos. Press the bell icon to receive fresh updates. Thanks for watching.